Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Monday evening to you all. I hope you guys are doing great out there tonight. Had yourselves a wonderful day, and I hope everyone's had a great beginning to their week out there so far. We got a lot to talk about in tonight's video. We're going to give you the latest information that we have with this winter storm that's beginning to unfold out there tonight, but the heart of this system certainly isn't with us yet. That will unfold over the next 12, 24 hours and onward. So the first thing we'll talk on is current conditions, and then we'll speak on the latest watches, warnings, and advisories. And then we'll speak on the central U.S. We'll include Nebraska points south down to Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, sections of Illinois, Indiana, western Kentucky, western Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas. I think I already said that. But anyways, we'll cover all those states in the central U.S. timestamp. Okay, we'll talk about model guidance. We'll break down all these individual graphics per the National Weather Service. And yeah, get very detailed. And then we'll do the same exact thing for the eastern U.S. And we'll really be focusing in on the mid-Atlantic, the southeast, and the mid-south, and the eastern U.S. timestamp. We'll cover the rest of Tennessee, Alabama, northern Georgia, all the Carolinas, Virginia, West Virginia, the rest of Kentucky, southern Ohio, all the way up into the mid-Atlantic, the Delmarva area. And we'll do the same exact thing. We'll show you all these individual graphics from the National Weather Service. We'll compare some model guidance, and we're going to get very detailed. I just can't help myself. I love doing this, and I'm lucky to be able to talk for as long as I want. You know, a lot of people on TV can only talk. They only got about a 1 to 3 minute segment that they can speak on the news. I have the luxury of having my own channel, so I can talk for as long as I want, and I love getting detailed because I love the weather, very passionate about it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get very detailed with you folks. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling tonight. So this is what's going on right now. Just an area of light, at times moderate snow across the plains. Models pretty much handled this pretty well, and that's exactly what's happening tonight. We got a lot of lake effect snow wisping off the Great Lakes, an epic lake effect snow band off Lake Ontario right now, but not really focusing in on that, but certainly a lot of winter weather up there. But we are showing some snow trying to, cruise through Illinois all the way into southern Indiana. Let me know if this is hitting the ground. This is a lot of cold Arctic air, so some of this might not actually be hitting the ground. A lot of virga out there, but this is well on its way to really blossoming, I would say, moisture-wise. So latest watches, warnings, and advisories. Unfortunately, I can't pull up weather-wise. I can, but it's so clustered up because there's so many flood warnings, so many cold weather alerts, extreme cold warnings, watches. There's so much going on. It'll just make your eyes go two different directions. So we're just going to take a look at Pivotal Weather's version. I'll try to mention some towns and cities, but a good chunk of Nebraska under winter weather advisories, which are in the purple. Winter storm warnings are in the pink, which include Kansas City down to Wichita, down to Tulsa, Springfield, Joplin, everybody in between. I mean, basically, I've been saying this over and over again, where Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas come together. That'll be the heart of this winter storm for the central U.S. But we've had some southerly trends, so this has kind of knocked, St. Louis back down to a winter weather advisory. So that's what you guys got. The Boot Hill all have winter storm warnings. Memphis, winter storm warnings down here. Little Rock now. I was thinking maybe once upon a time this was only going to be a winter weather advisory type deal for Little Rock. Well, we've had that southerly trend, more moisture. Winter storm warning up now for Little Rock. Down into, say, Oklahoma City, just winter weather advisories. Now we switch it to the east. All right, and let's update this. Let's see if we've had any changes. We have not. So just remember that this is getting close to us. So we're going to have a lot of changes as far as the watches warnings. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning. This is going to look different. Winter storm warnings are littered across almost the entire state of Kentucky, especially the heart of Kentucky, Paducah, Lexington. I think you got winter storm warnings up. Bowling Green, eastern Kentucky, winter storm warnings up. Northern Kentucky, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings up for Evansville, Indiana. And winter storm warning up for Nashville. Areas of the Cumberland Plateaus, most have winter weather advisories. We have not had any alerts issued for eastern Tennessee yet. That'll change. I think we'll at least get winter weather advisories. So winter storm watch is hanging on for southern areas of West Virginia, a couple counties in western Virginia. But this is the secondary jackpot area right into here where you have winter storm watches issued ahead of all these watches and warnings and advisories. So we got winter storm watches up for Raleigh, Fayetteville, up to the areas of the Delmarva. The Tidewater, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, the Outer Banks, I don't even quite know if the I know the northern Outer Banks have winter storm watches up, but the southern probably do not. I should probably have known that before I started this, but if we had weather-wise up, we would know. But anyways, eastern North Carolina, especially northeast North Carolina, Richmond winter storm watches. You guys look like you're going to have a big winter storm out of this regardless. We're just trying to fine-tune all those details. So those are all the watches, warnings, and advisories. Let's look at the latest model guidance as far as the evolution of this storm. And let's see, yes, so we do have the full euro and range. So let's start this off Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning. And we're just going to look at one model run. We can compare all these model runs until midnight tonight, but at the end of the day, this is right up on us. Okay, so let's just stick with the euro. I think a model that's done pretty well with this system so far, even though it technically has not happened, but I think it's doing the best. But waking up Tuesday morning, snow falling and very cold temperatures up in Kansas. We got this darker blue showing up, indicating more moderate snow. So we begin to get this into Tuesday afternoon. Winter storm begins to break out from, Tulsa up to Wichita, over to Springfield, Joplin, down to Fayetteville, and everybody in between. Winter storm, heavier snow begins to break out in this area right here, where all those states come together that I've mentioned a million times over the last few videos. More freezing rain breaking out over Little Rock. Might even start out as rain, but it quickly goes to winter weather as cold air is collapsing on this moisture. Could get a wintry mix in Oklahoma City, but it could go all to snow eventually. And then we take it to tomorrow evening. This is heavier snow falling. Doesn't look like a really juiced up system, but the snow is going to be falling in such cold temperatures. Northern Arkansas, moderate to heavy snow. Southern Missouri, heavy snow. Northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, heavy snow. Look at this freezing rain into Little Rock. We keep this going, and we take it to about midnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So it's the middle of the night tomorrow night. Heavy snow falling in the Boot Hill, all of southern areas of Missouri, the northern half of Arkansas. We're trying to switch to freezing rain, sleet to snow in Little Rock. It's snowing like crazy in Memphis. Western Tennessee, wintry mix moving into northern Mississippi. Western Kentucky, snow's moving in. Paducah, Carbondale into Illinois. It's snow is moving in. Lighter snow up in St. Louis. But we keep this going. Actually, I want to stop it here. Look at the temperatures that this snow is falling in, guys. This snow is falling in single digits in Springfield, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 degrees. So this is not a warm snow, like snow in the 28 to 32 degrees. You ask Mitch, what the heck is a warm snow? Well, that's snow that's kind of falling in more marginal temperatures. Cold snow, like almost something like you would get in like Antarctica or Alaska or something. I mean, that's how this snow is going to be. I mean, you're going to have a heavy snowstorm with temperatures in the single digits, low teens. This is not one of those fun snowstorms you take your kids out in. You're not going to be able to build a snowman really with this snow up here in Missouri and even northern Arkansas. Brutally cold temperatures. And then we go on and take it into about Wednesday morning. We even get a brief period of freezing rain into the northern sections of Louisiana. We got a wintry mix into northern Mississippi. Switches to some light snow at the tail end of this and like Little Rock. And this thing begins to head on out. By the time we're midday Wednesday, we're pretty much done with this. So that's the latest Euro. Let's break down snow totals. Here's a broad look at things. Let's see if we can. Yeah, so this is a broad, wider look at things. If I miss anybody, you can see how the snow drops down. And then the high impact area of the storm is, once again, right where Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri all come together. But there is also kind of an area of snow that is pretty heavy as you get in closer to Kentucky, southern Illinois. What about ice? A broad look at this. Certainly some decent ice totals, but I don't think we're going to get an all-out ice storm. But let's just zoom into this. Nebraska. Not a whole lot's changed. I mean, they have stayed rock steady with this. Some snow flying around up here tonight. Interstate 80 points south. I mean, some areas could get over a half a foot of snow. A few inches of snow north of Interstate 80, but even along Interstate 80, 4 to 6 inches of snow. Omaha going for 4 to 6, Lincoln 6, Nebraska City 6 to 8, Sioux City 2 to 3, Hebron 6. I'm going to butcher some names, guys. I think most folks has been tuning in for any length of time know I'm good at butchering some names. But this is getting into Kansas. I want to kind of section Kansas out in 4 different areas. This is kind of western, northwestern Kansas. Colby 3 to 4, Imperial 3 to 4, Hill City 4 to 6, Hayes 4 to 7. And this is also showing a little bit of eastern Colorado where a few inches of snow could fall. And then we go down to kind of southwestern areas of Kansas. 3 to 5 in Dodge City. Now this was updated a while ago is what I'm trying to say. Around like 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning. So we don't have any updated graphics since then. Maybe we do. Let's hit the enter button on this. See what we got. Oh, that's still the latest we got. So if you're tuning in from that area, I do apologize. The latest graphic we got. Haze 5 to 8, up closer to Interstate 70, more snow. But this is the area right here. And then we get up into northeastern Kansas. Manhattan 4 to 7, Topeka 5 to 8. Let's see if we got any updated graphics in this area. I'm gonna be doing this occasionally because I want to make sure we get the latest and greatest information. 4 to 7 in Kansas City, Emporia 6 to 9, Newton 7 to 10. So this will be a decent winter storm up here. Now, I would say, gosh, that's bright. I would say the highest impact portion of this storm in Kansas is the southeastern portion of the state. Hutchinson 6 to 10, Pratt 4 to 7, Wichita 6 to 10, Eureka 7 to 11, Coffeyville 9 to 14 inches of snow. This will be a big event. No freezing rain really expected in this area. Let's continue to cruise east. We've already said Kansas City 4 to 7, Butler down Interstate 49 6 to 9, Columbia around 2 to 5. We've had some drops in some of these totals around Interstate 70. Jefferson City 4 to 7. So not a huge event once you get kind of north of Interstate 70. It turns into a significant snowstorm south of Interstate 70. And that's a good kind of baseline as far as an interstate. Now, in St. Louis, they were calling for more. And I thought they were just overdoing it in the beginning anyways. But St. Louis, they're going for about 2 to 4 inches of really dry, fluffy snow. But we get south of St. Louis, Farmington, 5 to 10, Chester 4 to 8, Marion 4 to 7. This is getting into Illinois, Nashville 2 to 5, 2 to 4 in Fairfield, Jefferson City 4 to 7, Rolla. I think somebody in the comments said I don't think it's pronounced Rolla, but 6 to 10 inches of snow there. Lebanon 7 to 12, Bowling Green 1 to 3, so Columbia 2 to 5. And then we had a little bit further east, Mount Vernon 2 to 5, Marion 4 to 8. Already mentioned to Paducah, Kentucky 4 to 6, Evansville 2 to 5. We got to watch. You're right on the fringe of. I'm very surprised they have winter storm warnings up in Evansville. They're quick to fire a winter storm warning up in some of these states up here. But Poplar Bluff 4 to 7, Piedmont 6 to 9, Farmington 6 to 10, into the Boot Hill like New Madrid 3 to 6 inches of snow forecast in this area. And then we book it back down. We're getting a little bit further south, so we're kind of zigzagging, if you will. So north of Amarillo, maybe a few tenths of an inch of snow. Not a big event in this area. Now, since the National Weather Service out of Norman, just for whatever reason, just does not put out great graphics. I mean, this is a fantastic graphic, but most likely it's coming up pretty blurry on your screen. You're probably like, Mitch, I can't see this. So for my friends in Oklahoma, trust me, I want to show you these nice graphics. And this is a pretty good graphic, but even on my screen, this looks blurry. So I'll try to explain this. Oklahoma City, it does show a 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain for you guys. Woodard, maybe closer to under 1/10 of an inch. Oklahoma City, you're right on the fringe now of maybe a little accumulating snow. Like just northeast of town, maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow. Stillwater, you could get 3 to 4 inches of snow. Ponca City, they just don't have a lot on here. I mean, you could get 6 to 8. They got some arrival times right here, and they got just a little discussion, but that they just don't have great. I don't want to diss on them too much. They do an excellent job, especially during severe weather season. But Tulsa, 5-6 inches of snow. Miami, somebody said I pronounced that wrong. I don't even remember what they said. But trust me, I'll read the comments. But anyways, northeastern Oklahoma could get over a foot of snow. Bartlesville, 10-11 inches of snow. Fayetteville, this is increasing now for areas of Arkansas. Now going for 5 inches of snow. Fort Smith, once upon a time, was under an inch. Now you're about 1.5 inches. And a little bit of snow down here south of Interstate 40. But this is when you start to get involved in some ice. Snow totals could increase in this area. A few 1/100ths of an inch of ice in these areas. And then Arkansas. They got a really good graphic up for the entire state. Little Rock. Didn't think y'all were getting much snow at first with this, but you could get 1 to 2 inches of snow, and this could mix with some sleet. Has some discussions right here. Mountain View 4 to 6, Russellville 1 to 2, Harrison 6 to 8 inches of snow, Hardy 4 to 6, Jonesboro 3 to 4. Great guy to follow out of this area is Zach Hall. Zachary Hall. If you're tuning in from Arkansas, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. He really just focuses in on his state, and he does a heck of a job. I'm sure that I don't even really have to go much into him because he's so well known in the state of Arkansas, but he's definitely covering the heck out of this system. But this is the ice totals. If you live in the yellow, certainly a glaze of ice, but you start to get into like the orange. This is where you can get over 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. So once you get over that 1/10 of an inch, you certainly can visibly see it pretty well in the trees. But this is definitely going to be a solid winter storm for Arkansas. Now we start to get into western Tennessee. Memphis going for about 1.5 inches. Now this is updated about 4:30. Let's see if they got a new graphic up. They do not. Okay, no new graphic. Inch, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I'll say 1 to 2 inches of snow in Memphis. Up Interstate 40 starts to increase. Jackson, 2, 2.5. Dyersburg, 3.5 inches of snow. Union City, 4 to 5. Paris, 3, 4 inches of snow. But I mean, even into northern Mississippi, going for about 1 inch of snow in Holly Springs. Tupelo, about 1/2 inch. Oxford, about 1/2 inch of snow. Clarksdale, maybe 1/2 inch of snow. We'll see. Forest City into Arkansas, 1.5 inches. So some freezing rain is possible. I think you're going to get just a solid wintry mix in this area. I don't think this is going to be a major winter storm. But with these cold temperatures, it is certainly going to linger around for a day or two. Hard to compare to any individual storm. I know y'all had a big storm back in January, but I think this storm is going to be colder. That's for sure. All right, let's move to the eastern U.S., and we're going to compare a little model guidance with this. So let's look at the Euro, and the Euro is new to me. I haven't seen it, but I'm going to compare it against the GFS regardless. This is actually the GFS. What we got going on here, Mitch? So let's actually go to the Euro first. So we're actually going to have to go back and forth. We're a little everywhere. All right, so we're good. So let's look at the Euro. This is starting off 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday morning. Not tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. Snow starting to overspread. Middle Tennessee, getting across Kentucky at this point, still snowing up here in Evansville, Indiana. And then we take it into Wednesday morning. We got a wintry mix moving into northern Alabama. It's all snow, it looks like. That's became something new over the last 18 to 24 hours. The snow doesn't look very heavy up in Kentucky and Tennessee, but listen, this is snow falling in the 20s and teens in a lot of areas, especially the further west and north you get. So all this is accumulating on everything. So this is solid, kind of moderate snow in this darker blue. All right, Wednesday morning. This is Wednesday about mid-morning. Okay, it looks like the storm really loses some steam. And I think what's happening here, I've had a lot of questions. What's happening here is we're getting an energy transfer. So the initial energy west begins to transfer to the coast, and we get a low pressure that begins to develop over here. So you're going to see a lot more moisture blossom on this side of your screen over here. But this is some moderate snow moving into the the Appalachian Mountains. But all this light blue, I mean, we even got this corridor of light snow trying to get all the way to like the Tidewater. But this is falling in very cold temperatures. Then we take it to midday Wednesday. It's about lunchtime, 12 o'clock, 1 p.m. A little bit of snow in northern Georgia, light stuff in eastern Tennessee, light snow in the Triad, western North Carolina, just light snow throughout North Carolina. This is mainly rain. It shows a big-time dry slot. And then we start to crank this up into Wednesday afternoon. And it has some very light snow. I mean, as far south as like Chesterfield, Lancaster, Greenville, Spartanburg, this is very light snow. But it's just, like I said, it's not heavy. There's not a lot of precipitation. Then the storm really cranks up right here in the eastern Carolinas. It's starting to snow very heavy, like in Raleigh, up to Norfolk, up to Virginia Beach. And then we continue to keep this going. A couple things are happening here. One, low pressure is cranking up right here, still snowing lightly into the Piedmont, North Carolina, Charlotte, snowing at a moderate to heavy pace in Raleigh. We're getting icing in the pink, freezing rain, snowing like crazy in northeast North Carolina, southeast Virginia, southern areas of Maryland. And then there's some back-end moisture right here. This is getting into Wednesday evening now. You see this area of snow? I want to watch some energy that pivots down. All right, so it is snowing hard in northeast North Carolina at this point. And then check out how the moisture tries to back build into here. Like very briefly. Tries to end in some freezing rain in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, Wednesday night, really in the Thursday morning in Myrtle Beach and along the southeastern coastline of of North Carolina. So that's an interesting development. And then some back-end energy flows through, and we've been watching this. So if you totally miss on the first wave, and I can tell there has been, I was reading the comments in this morning's video. There were, you could tell people were upset. It's like this every time we break down a winter weather event. And I'm not going to get into it. It just comes with the territory of what I do. I totally, it don't even bother me anymore. I get it. But you get into Tuesday morning. Okay, we got freezing rain along the coast. I mean, all the way into Myrtle Beach. But this big piece of energy right here, yeah, this is light snow. But this is very cold temperatures this snow's falling in. And so we're starting to get into about Thursday morning. I mean, who knows, 8 to 11 a.m., we got this back-end energy, this snow, kind of light snow, making its way through the Carolinas, up through Virginia, West Virginia, eastern Tennessee, and heck, it even tries to get all the way to Columbia. This snow tries to just, after the main event, just pretty much pulls through all of, I just think Thursdays is going to be a day where we have just light snow flurries flying around as far south as the Carolinas. And maybe they can add on some additional light accumulations, and then this thing finally heads on out. And there's a lot of models that show this. For example, let's back this up and let's break it down with the GFS. GFS is much more beefed up with the moisture. So, we're getting to Wednesday morning. It's snowing heavily in like Nashville, Middle Tennessee, Huntsville, Florence, Alabama. Wow, losing my voice. Alabama. Heck, it almost gets snow into Atlanta. And it has much heavier snow on the GFS. And this brings much heavier snow into the Cumberland Plateau. I mean, it's snowing like crazy in northern Alabama, northern Georgia. As we're getting into like Wednesday morning, it snow's moving into the North Carolina, Tennessee mountains, up to the mountains of West Virginia. I mean, this is some moderate snow. And just remember, this is snow falling in very cold temperatures. Snow's starting to move into Charlotte. We're getting snow falling in Greenville, Spartanburg. We're getting snow falling almost in Helen, Georgia, southwest North Carolina. We got snow starting to move into Raleigh. All of Virginia at this point, all the way up to Beckley, Charleston, West Virginia. All rain for Columbia, my house. I live in Columbia, guys, which is right where my cursor is near Lake Murray. I'm trying to live in spirit for you guys, be very excited with you guys, but it is definitely hard that I'm going to be in a miserable cold rain, but I'm pulling for you guys hard that certainly have not gotten winter weather much this year. But, as we're starting to get into Wednesday afternoon, this is when the moisture starts to crank up, and someone's going to get a very heavy band of snow up here in North Carolina and Virginia, and there's going to be that corridor of freezing rain. Fayetteville to Greenville, North Carolina could get some nasty freezing rain, and just south of Raleigh. But look at the snow still falling back here in the Greenville, Spartanburg area on this run, and then look at that heavy snow. Mixing is a lot closer on the GFS to say northeast North Carolina, southeast Virginia, but this is very heavy snow in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and man, it really tries to crank up. And there's that back in energy Thursday morning. There's some flurries, light snow, kind of filtering in all the way through Charlotte, Fayetteville, Raleigh. It'll be kind of snow falling on top of snow, and this will be much colder temperatures Thursday morning. So, any of the snow that actually falls out here is certainly going to add up. Because Thursday morning temperatures, for example, like this back end snow, let's look at the temperatures based off the GFS. This is flurries flying around the low to mid 20s. So certainly this will be cold. So, and I do want to show you this. This is what I call the giraffe model, but it's called the graph model. This is definitely something that a lot of people in the weather community have been liking lately. And it's kind of an in-house model that's only available with local news stations. So you can't see it on subscription sites. So I want to stop it here. So this is 8:30 Wednesday. Look at the snow moving into along the 85 corridor up to Charlotte. This is snow moving into Charlotte, snow trying to get as far south as, Newberry. Almost all the way down to the northern areas of Fairfield County. Lancaster. So it's a much colder run. It's interesting. There's that freezing rain breaking out. It's around midday Tuesday, all rain in Columbia, but we got just scattered rounds of snow from northern Georgia up into North Carolina and Charlotte, Raleigh. It's much heavier snow. Look at the heavy snow up here. But check this out. Okay, watch as we're starting to get into Wednesday night. This is getting into Thursday morning. This is 3:30 in the morning, Thursday morning. Watch this energy over here. Watch how this area of light snow tries to pivot through the Piedmont of North Carolina. Look at it getting all the way into the Midlands of South Carolina. Man, if I was able to just get a period of flurries from this, man, I would call that a win. And just look at this little secondary band of snow that pivots through. And in fact, it makes it all the way to the South Carolina coastline. So that's just something interesting to watch. And I've been mentioning it, a couple, time and time again, a little bit here and there, but I certainly think that it's something to watch. And let's see if old Daniel Bonsden, he is not. He's been killing it with the graph models. He's always showing us what we want to see, right? But we also got to keep things real. So, latest forecast as far as snow, I want to show you a broad look at things first. You can obviously see where the footprint of snow is. And then I want to show you forecast ice. Now let's look at the individual graphics. We'll start in northern Alabama first. As of now, let's see if we got any updates from this. I'm going to be doing this a lot. I'm going to update this because I want to get, like, for example, this went up 1 hour. So I'm just wanting to catch all the latest information for you guys. So Huntsville to Florence, Intraless, they're just not buying what kind of the GFS is showing, which is accumulating snow. But if you live in the northern counties of Alabama, Huntsville to Florence, all these other Scottsboro, I would stay tuned to updates. I mean, everybody should stay tuned to updates, but you get what I'm saying. Now up here into Middle Tennessee, latest update, I would say 2 to 3 inches of snow in Nashville. You could overachieve. I think more than that could fall. We just got to watch. Clarksville, you got winter storm warnings there for a reason. 3 inches. Cookeville 2, Smithville 2 to 3, Murphyville about 1 to 2 inches of snow, Waverly 3 to 4. The further north you get, the more snow it looks like you'll get. Not expecting much ice in this area. Eastern Tennessee. We'll see if we get any updates. Let's see if we got a new one. We do. So I'm glad I updated. We got an update that's much closer to us, 6/17. So Knoxville going for about an inch now, between now and 7 p.m. Thursday. Morristown, about an inch. Tazewell, 2 inches. Kingsport, 2 inches. My friends here in the Tri-Cities region, I know I got some people tuning in from this area. Mountain City, 2 inches. By the way, me and my family are thinking about getting a dog, a husky. And just a little side story. I like to do this. And where we're going to be picking up this dog is right outside of Johnson City. So I'm excited about that. Not quite sure. But anyways, got to throw in a side story every once in a while. So me and my family are definitely excited about the possibility of it. But anyways, that's Eastern Tennessee. Kentucky. Let's see if we got an update. Let's see. Oof, right of gas here. All right, no update. So Lexington, 2 to 5 inches of snow. London, 2 to 5. Elizabethtown, 2 to 6. Owensboro, 3 to 7. Jackson, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Covington dropped it to about a trace of 2 inches. Ashland, 1 to 4. So a pretty decent event up here. And this snow is going to be falling in very cold temperatures. Now, we'll show some love up here into southern Ohio. And Cincinnati, about an inch or less. Georgetown, about an inch. Portsmouth, an inch. Dry Ridge, 1 to 2. Not a big event for you guys. Columbus, for you winter weather fans, this will be a bummer watching it all be to your south. Who knows? You might get a last-second shift, though. Latest from West Virginia. Let's update this one, too. See what we got. Any changes? Nope. Same thing. Charleston going for about 4 inches. Logan, 5. Beckley, 4. Grundy, 4 to 5 inches of snow. Snowshoe, about 3 to 4. It's kind of one of these events where southern areas of West Virginia will do better. But you guys did very well in last week's winter storm, so we'll see what happens. But moving back down into the south, Atlanta, northern Georgia, could get a dusting of snow up here in northern Georgia, way north of Atlanta. I wouldn't expect much, though, but definitely not a big event for Georgia. And then here in my neck of the woods, they're not calling for much. They're calling for a little light glaze of ice just northeast, and east of Columbia. Could get a few 1/100ths of an inch of ice and snowfall. I really wouldn't expect really any snow down in the Midlands, but you certainly could get a dusting up into the upstate. And let's go on and just show that area. Greenville, Spartanburg area. Nothing has changed. Greenville, Spartanburg. Listen, I know it doesn't show anything. I know I got a lot of people tuning in from this area. I know it doesn't show anything for the Greenville, Spartanburg area, except maybe an inch or less, but Asheville, Charlotte, I know it says an inch or less. I know you're thinking, man, this stinks. And I agree. Basically from Asheville to, I would say Columbia to Charlotte. There's just basically like the Bermuda Triangle of hardly nothing, all the way into the Triad of North Carolina. Even Columbia got an inch of snow. back in January. But I mean, if I'm being real with you, I'm not complaining. But that system could have produced so much more with the setup it was, but it just didn't work out. But anyways, listen, don't take this as a conclusion. I can hear people almost. I can almost feel people's negative energy looking at this graphic like, dude, this sucks. It's over. Trust me. This could change. Just, I could see maybe Greenville Spartanburg squeezing out an inch somehow. Clemson. I could see it. I could see Charlotte somehow getting an inch or two. So Statesville, Hickory just going for a solid inch. Just stay tuned for updates with this. That's all I'm trying to say. Let's book it back over to southeast North Carolina and eastern areas of South Carolina. If you live in the yellow, a few 100ths of an inch of freezing rain is possible. Up to Lumberton, maybe closer to a 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. White Lake going for 2/10 of an inch. So we definitely need to watch and see if we have any updates in this area. We don't. Snowfall, they have some weird glitched out map here. I don't know what's going on, but definitely could get a little bit of back end snow from this. I'm not going to rule it out. And then up here, now we definitely want to start, once we start getting to this area, we definitely want to make sure we get new updates in this region. All right, so we don't have a new update, but this is around 3:30 a few hours ago. Raleigh going for 2.5 inches, closer and kind of north of Raleigh. Certainly could get maybe closer to 3. Greensboro going for 2. Winston-Salem, Greensboro about 3 inches. Winston-Salem 2.5, 3 inches. Lexington closer to 2. Albemarle about an inch. Wilson 2.5. Rocky Mountain about 3. But once you get north and northeast of Raleigh, guys, it starts to go up quick. Roanoke Rapids, over 7 inches of snow is forecast. Henderson 5. Goldsboro 1.5 inches. See what happens in this area. Look at the freezing rain. South and southeast of Raleigh. Clinton, 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain. Goldsboro, 1/4 of an inch. This could be ice storm type ice down here. Fayetteville, 1/4 of an inch of ice. So, yeah, guys, we got to watch out for this. This is going to be a high impact winter storm for this area of North Carolina. And then we head on up into southwestern VA. See if we got any update from this area. We do not. Roanoke, Blacksburg, 2.5, 3 inches of snow. Lynchburg, a little bit more, 3.5, 4. South Boston, 4, 4.5. I could see some of these totals getting cut down a little bit if we continue to trend drier. About 2 inches in Mount Airy, 2 inches in Boone. Reedville, 3, 3.5. So this is this area. All right, no ice expected here. Now, this is the jackpot area for the eastern U.S. We need to continue to tune in for updates. This is the area of the storm where it could really ramp up. I would not be surprised if we somehow squeeze out a blizzard warning or two out of some of these counties. Norfolk, going for around 8 to 12 inches of snow. Same thing with Elizabeth City. Petersburg, a little bit less, going for around 1/2 foot. Richmond, around 1/2 foot of snow, I would say right now. Franklin, 8 to 9. South Hill, 5 to 6. Farmville, 5 to 6. This is going to be a big winter storm for this area. Dare I say the biggest since, I don't know, maybe, I can't remember if y'all had a big one, say. Well, no, no, this one is probably going to be bigger than the one you got last month. So this might be one of your biggest storms since like 2022. But this is going to be a big one. And there's going to be a little bit of ice once you get kind of in the North Carolina, a little bit of ice. But guys, this is going to be a big winter storm for this area. And don't they have... This is the potential high-end amount with this. So I want to show you guys this. There's a 1 out of 10 chance, 10% chance of higher snowfall. The higher end amount is 15 inches in Norfolk, over a foot. So there's certainly a higher end boom potential with this. There's also a lower end, but the lower end is still 4 inches of snow in Norfolk. This is going to be a big storm for you guys. And this is going to, I didn't audibly say, you guys, Okomak for 8 inches, Salisbury drops off quick up into this region. And just to finish this off, and let's see if we got any updated information. DC, you're right on the fringe. I don't know if this is going to be your storm. Kind of south of DC, accumulating snow. Lexington Park, 3 to 4. Fredericksburg, maybe 2 to 3. Charlottesville, 2 to 3. I'd watch out in this area, though. We could have a last-second trend north, and that would make all the difference. So, whew, that's all I got. I'm trying to think if I can cover anything else on the fly here, but I don't think there's anything else to cover. So we'll do it. We'll do it all over again tomorrow morning. You know we will. We'll see what's changed. Just grace, guys. That's what I would say. Grace, grace, grace. People think that. First off, a lot of people call me a meteorologist. I'm not a meteorologist. I didn't go to school and get a degree. I'm just a guy that loves the weather, that is blessed enough to talk weather on YouTube, and that's exactly what I do. But these people that on TV talk about it, they got a lot of pressure on them. A lot of pressure on them. And this is a very tough forecast with the Carolinas, especially North Carolina and Virginia. So give these guys grace. All right, that's my prayer, is for you folks as the public, give these local meteorologists grace. It's a tough storm. If I had to name one state where this was the toughest storm to figure out, it is North Carolina. Okay, so that's what I would say. And quick reminder, all these little graphics I show you guys? It's wild reading the comments. People think that I make these graphics. I do not make these graphics. I show you these graphics. These are made by the National Weather Service. There's the logo. So sometimes I'll read funny comments. It's like, your map sucks. Like, what are you talking about? I don't make these maps, guys. So just a reminder. But I always like to show you guys these maps, because these are from the experts, the National Weather Service, the people who do it for a living. So just another reminder on that. God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful night. We'll do it again in the morning.